Let's be honest, women don't always return because they miss you or suddenly realize your worth. They don't come back because they've fallen madly in love overnight. The reality is much more nuanced, and for many men, it's a tough truth to accept. Women often return after a period of no contact due to one powerful reason: the loss of control. When you genuinely cut her off, no calls, no texts, no breadcrumbs, you disrupt the dynamic where she once felt dominant. This shift unsettles her because, like anyone, she craves validation. She's used to being the center of attention, the one in charge. When that power disappears, it triggers fear. The fear that you've moved on, that someone else has taken her place, or that she's no longer the prize in your eyes. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most women don't come back because of you. They come back because of the power they lost. It's not about your personality, looks, or achievements. It's about how they feel when they're no longer in control. The absence you create compels her to act. Many men make the mistake of thinking her return signals love. She calls, texts, or shows up, and they fall back into old patterns, chasing her, confessing feelings, or being overly available. This only resets the dynamic and puts her back in control. No contact works, but not because it's magical. It's rooted in psychology. When you understand why women truly return, you gain the power to decide if you even want her back. When a woman feels she has control over a man, it boosts her confidence. As long as she can dictate the terms of the relationship, she feels secure. But when that control is taken away, she's forced to confront the uncomfortable reality that she no longer holds the power. This is where the no contact rule comes into play. By not chasing her, you compel her to chase the validation she once got easily. You stop giving her the emotional responses she's used to, and this shift disrupts her sense of security. She moves from being in control to being in the dark, unsure of what you're doing or who you're with. At first, she might enjoy the space, but over time, curiosity and doubt creep in. She starts to wonder if you miss her or if you've moved on. The longer you remain silent, the stronger this pull becomes. Eventually, she may reach out, not necessarily to reconnect emotionally, but to test if she still holds power over you. This moment is a test, not a rekindling. It's not about feelings, it's about regaining control. Consider Mark and Sarah. Mark was always the one texting, planning, and showing how much he cared. Sarah, on the other hand, stopped putting in effort, knowing Mark would always chase her. One day, Mark decided to stop. He stopped texting, stopped calling, and gave no reaction. Sarah, who had grown used to his constant attention, felt the shift. She no longer had the upper hand. Weeks later, she reached out, not because she missed him, but to see if he would still chase her. It wasn't about Mark, it was about her regaining that sense of control. When you stop chasing, it disrupts the dynamic she's accustomed to. For many women, being pursued validates their sense of worth and desirability. It reassures them that they're the focus of your world. When you suddenly stop, it flips a switch in her mind. She's no longer certain of her place, and that uncertainty drives her crazy. Your attention was her safety net. Every text or call reminded her that she was important. But when you remove yourself, she's left with an emotional void. That silence speaks volumes, forcing her to confront what she's lost. It also shifts the power dynamic. She's no longer being pursued, and now she's left wondering, who is he chasing? Why doesn't he care anymore? Take James and Emily, for example. James always initiated plans, called and showered Emily with compliments. Emily enjoyed the attention, but felt no need to reciprocate, assuming James would always be there. One day, James stopped. No calls, no texts, no reactions to her social media. At first, Emily shrugged it off, confident he'd return. But as the days turned into weeks, she began questioning everything. Why wasn't James chasing her? She started checking her phone constantly, wondering if he'd moved on. Eventually, she reached out with a casual excuse just to get his attention. For James, this wasn't a game. It was about reclaiming his value and letting Emily realize what she had taken for granted. Going no contact unsettles a woman's sense of control. It's not about manipulation. It's about disrupting predictability. When she knows how you'll respond or when you'll reach out, she feels secure. But when you break that pattern, it forces her to re-evaluate her position in your life. When you consistently show a woman how much you care, it provides her with a sense of certainty. The moment you stop, that certainty disappears, leaving her uneasy. As long as you're available, you're an open book. She knows where she stands and doesn't have to wonder about your intentions. But when you vanish, she's left with questions dominating her thoughts. What is he thinking? Has he moved on? Does he still care? The predictable pattern of your attention is gone, and that creates a void. This loss of control isn't just unsettling, it's frustrating. She's used to your predictability, maybe even taking it for granted. When you flip the script, she can't read you anymore, and this sudden shift creates a sense of urgency. Now the ball is in your court, and she's the one scrambling to regain her footing. It's not only about emotions, it's about pride. No one likes to feel they've lost influence over someone who once seemed devoted. By breaking contact, you're showing her, without saying a word, that she no longer controls you. You've taken back your power and refused to play the game on her terms. This creates a paradox. On one hand, she might resist chasing you because it means admitting she's lost control. On the other, the silence gnaws at her because it signals she's no longer a priority. This hits her ego hard. Consciously or not, she'll feel compelled to re-establish the connection, to regain the sense of control she once had. This is why so many women return after no contact. It's not necessarily about love or missing you, it's about restoring the stability and dominance they felt when you were pursuing them. By stepping back, you've introduced an unanticipated challenge, one she feels the need to solve. When you stop reaching out, it suggests that you might be moving on, possibly even seeing someone else. This thought alone can create a sense of panic. She may be able to handle distance, but the idea of someone else filling the space she once occupied is unbearable. You were the center of her attention, and the thought of someone else taking her place makes her question her own worth. Even if she tells herself she's fine, that she doesn't need you or that it's not a big deal, deep down, she's wondering if you're truly over her, or worse, if you've already found someone new. When a woman perceives that she could be replaced, it ignites a powerful instinct. Women thrive on feeling desired, but the idea that the man they've been involved with has emotionally or physically moved on triggers a competitive drive. Often, it's less about love and more about proving she still holds value to you. The fear of being replaced can be more intense than any other feeling. It forces her to act, even if only to test the waters. She might reach out subtly, trying to gauge your reaction or check up on you to see if someone else has taken her place. This possibility gnaws at her, prompting her to reassert her position as the one who matters most to you. The key lies in the deep human need to feel irreplaceable. For women, sensing that someone else could step into their role creates insecurity. That insecurity compels her to reconnect, sometimes without even realizing it. It's not just about being replaced in your life, but also in your heart. Here's another important factor. Being too available can backfire. Many men mistakenly believe that dropping everything for her, replying instantly to texts, or rearranging plans to accommodate her will win her over. While this might feel like the right move at the moment, it doesn't inspire lasting desire. When you're constantly there, it signals to her that you lack independence and may even come off as desperate. People don't crave what they can easily have, and being overly available makes you seem less valuable. If she knows you'll always be there no matter what, she stops appreciating your presence. This doesn't mean you should play games or act cold. It's about maintaining your own life, interests, and plans. When you show her that your world doesn't revolve around her, it makes you more attractive. Women are drawn to men who are passionate, purpose-driven, and independent. By having your own goals and not making her your sole focus, you spark curiosity and admiration. She starts to notice the shift, and instead of taking you for granted, she feels the need to earn your attention again. Stop making her the center of your universe. Let her see that you have your own life and priorities. That's when she'll realize what she's at risk of losing, and that's when she'll come back. Not just to maintain control, but to win you back. Living your life with focus and purpose makes her realize your worth. The absence of your constant presence creates a gap, and she begins to feel it. Silence can be a powerful tool when you go no contact. The void left by your words, attention, and presence speaks volumes. For her, that silence can be deafening, forcing her to confront feelings she might have been avoiding. Women often rely on emotional exchanges to validate their place in someone's life. When that communication stops, it unsettles even the most confident person. The quietness gives rise to overthinking. Why isn't he reaching out? Has he moved on? Is he happier without me? These thoughts are more than just bothersome. They become intrusive. Silence disrupts the emotional balance she once relied on. While you were chasing her, she felt secure in knowing she had your attention. But now the roles have reversed. Your silence forces her to confront an uncomfortable truth. She cared more than she was willing to admit. This realization hits harder than any argument ever could. Silence also creates emotional space, an often overlooked aspect of relationships. By pulling back, you give her time to reflect. At first, she might act indifferent or convince herself she's better off. But as the days pass, the lack of contact begins to affect her deeply. She'll replay moments, question what went wrong, and eventually face a decision: reach out to you or let go completely. For most women, remaining silent indefinitely is unbearable. Silence forces vulnerability, compelling her to acknowledge emotions she once ignored. This is why many women break no contact first. It's no longer about power, but about coping with the emotional loss of someone who cared. Your silence becomes your strength, making her see you in a new light. Don't underestimate its power. Women love the thrill of the chase. The excitement of winning someone's attention and affection can be intoxicating. But here's the catch: they hate losing that chase. When a man becomes too predictable or readily available, the chase loses its allure. However, When he becomes elusive, maintaining his independence and focusing on his own life, he reintroduces the excitement of pursuit. The key lies in balance. By holding on to your purpose and passions, you keep the dynamic engaging and fresh. It's not about playing games, but about maintaining a sense of self-worth and independence. Women are drawn to men who challenge them, not through manipulation, but by living authentically and confidently. So remember this: silence and independence aren't just tactics. They're reflections of a man who values himself and his time. That's the kind of man she'll chase. After all, the thrill of the chase is undeniably exhilarating. It's exciting, sometimes even a little maddening. There's something about the pursuit that ignites adrenaline. However, here's what many men overlook: losing the chase. You might think that once you've captured her attention, the game is over. But the truth is, it's not about catching her, it's about sustaining her interest, keeping the chase alive and maintaining that sense of mystery and challenge. This is where many falter. They get too comfortable, believing they've won once they've made an impression. But women don't want to be won, they want to keep winning. They desire a sense of challenge, something to strive for. When the chase ends, when they sense the pursuit is over, attraction begins to wane. Women enjoy being pursued. It makes them feel desired, special, and valued. But when the pursuit stops, they start to wonder if they're appreciated for who they are, or merely for what they offer in the moment. The excitement of the chase brings meaning to the connection. When things become too easy, interest fades. But don't misunderstand. The chase isn't about manipulation or pretending. It's about maintaining your own life, purpose, and passions while demonstrating that she's worth the effort. When she sees you're busy with your own priorities, yet still make time for her, she'll recognize the chase as genuine, not a fleeting game. So if you want her to stay interested, don't abandon the chase once you think you've won. Instead, embrace that she needs to feel worth pursuing. The moment you stop showing interest or providing something to pursue is the moment her interest begins to fade. Your absence is another factor that speaks volumes. While it may seem counterintuitive, being constantly available doesn't necessarily make you more desirable. On the contrary, your absence can show you're not desperate. Being there 24/7 may feel like the right move to win her appreciation. But when you're always around, it can come across as needy, even unappealing. Women are drawn to men who have their own lives, ambitions, and priorities. When you pull back, stop chasing, and create space, it stands out. It forces her to see that you're different, not someone who is always at her beck and call. This creates boundaries, and boundaries are attractive. If she senses you're always there, she might not feel the need to put in any effort. But when you make her work for your attention, it stirs her desire and keeps her engaged. If you found this video valuable and want more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss out on future videos that can help you level up your mindset and relationships. And if you've got thoughts or questions, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.